covered the story and has brought us back a very interesting report about what's happening to those communities there. Hamil, tell us what you saw.
First of all, when you think about the district government, you know, there is a connection because this government, as well as the city, is built, the bedrock of all this stuff of people from North Carolina, South Carolina, folks who migrated here in the 40s, 50s, and even the 60s, searching for a better life. And what happened is when the hurricane, we always have hurricanes, you know, things like that, but what happened is when the hurricane, you know, Dennis and Florida and this came through eastern North Carolina, it literally skipped like the coastline and really hit places like Rocky Mountain, Tarboro, and inland places. And this is really like a beehive, a really kind of a place where so many people migrated here from the Washington area. And what this story is really about is kind of what happened following the flood.
Tall trees were uprooted. Buildings were ripped from foundations. The dead were washed from graves.
Princeville, Tarboro, Rocky Mount, Greenville, Pine Tops, and many of the other areas was totally submerged underwater.
Reverend C.H. Johnson is a native of North Carolina. He is also coordinator of the relief effort organized by the Progressive National Baptist Convention.
There are more people perhaps in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area that are relocated here from North Carolina than from any other one state in the United States.
Even though Johnson has spent the last 2 months collecting food and clothing out for North Carolina, he says that's not enough.
First of all, with regards to their immediate needs at the very top of the list, is financial donation. They need money like never before. They need food, bottled water, canned goods, meats, vegetables, juices, cereal, all other types of non-perishable items, kitchen utensils, paper products, cups, plates, napkins, spoons, knives, forks, garbage bags, and of course, manual can openers, because many places are still without electrical power.
And the same way they waged a war of civil disobedience to integrate the South, activists like former D.C. delegate to Congress Walter Fauntroy is working with the church community to rebuild eastern North Carolina.
The faith community, we feel, have to take the lead to step in the gap and to be able to raise the funds and to be able to do the things that is necessary to see that they might have a better quality of life.
But members of the faith community are not the only soldiers in this battle. From people who show up at the D.C. Armory to sort clothes to a city bus driver who decided to raise money.
The least you have done unto one of my little ones, you have done it unto me.
It's very sad. It was very sad, you know, for so many people.
Among those compelled to help are Clayton and Juanita Giles. The couple migrated to the district with many memories of their hometown of Tarboro, North Carolina.
It was very small, but everybody knew everybody, and everybody seemed to have had a lot of historical things going on around at that time. There was a lot of stores owned by black people in that city.
You only had a menial thing or two down there in North Carolina that I could get. But up here, civil service was open and several other jobs, so I decided to go for the federal government.
I heard about the flood the day that it happened. My sister called me and told me from Greensboro, North Carolina. And then Miss Eva Norfleet and Miss Grace Swenson called, and we decided to get together and start taking up some things to carry back home to the people.
The Giles took their donations down to the Union Baptist Church of Tarboro. But just as important as the material items collected was a card of encouragement.
It makes me feel good to know that there are other people who empathize with us here in Tarboro, and that we're all brothers and sisters in Christ, because when we hurt, they hurt too.
Even among those who lost everything, there is hope.
The house was total loss, and we couldn't live in it. But, you know, most of all, we thank God that we have our life and our health and strength.
Crystal Flowers decided to ride out the storm at her grandmother's house. She thought she was safe.
And somebody called and said, y'all need to get out. So the man came with his family and tried to get 7 of us, which made 12 on the boat. So when we all got on the boat and we was trying to leave, I felt the boat rocking and it flipped over. And, you know, we lost, couldn't hold on to nobody. everybody was just stranded away. So my little cousin, somehow or another, he turned the boat on the wrong side, bottom upwards, and he pulled me on top of the boat. The current was going so fast, it just got
So
me
two people died, right?
Let me see, 7 people died.
The angry floods not only claimed lives. For people like James Pettaway, it meant reopening painful chapters of their lives. His son's casket was among the 160 to rise from Dancy Cemetery. But despite the tragedy, like many other North Carolina residents, Pettaway looks forward to a brighter day.
It ain't gonna get better for us. It's gonna take a little time, but we gonna make it through.
Talk about the faith of a mustard seed, Hamil. That report was very, very
Very nice,
good.
yeah.